Testing. 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Hope that you guys can hear me. Fuck it, rock. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Den. My name is Sir Edward Honcho. It's not my real name, but we'll rock with it. I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that everybody's doing good. I hope that life is giving you every blessing that you deserve. If you deserve none, excuse me, I hope you get none. If you deserve it all, I hope you get it all. So, we're going to have a very interesting conversation tonight. The conversation we're going to have tonight is about the Jigga Man and Lil Weezy and the Super Bowl halftime performance. And I know people are like, well, Honcho, you say a lot of stuff about rap music and it's detrimental to the culture of blacks and shit, American society as a whole. And I agree. I agree. I agree. But it's bigger than that, right? Well, it's not really bigger than that. But it's just a point I want to make because I like stirring up shit with people from the other side of the country. So, let's get this conversation started. I know it has been a while. It's been a minute since I have been in it. So I do hope that everybody is one, alive and kicking. Two, prospering. Not just kicking, but prospering. Um, it's been so long. Well, not so long. It's just, once I get inactive for a minute, I forget how to do certain things. And I had everything all set up. Then the shit started like lagging, doing some weird shit. So I reset it real quick and I forgot what the fuck I was doing. Anyway. All right. Let's do it like this. Okay. Now that's crazy. Um. All right. Good. See the Wolverine. What's the motherfucking deal? One, one. That was P Diddy song. I don't know if I should continue singing that. That might be very bad context. But good to see you both. So, kind of get into it, right? We're just going to jump into it. I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm trying to get better at some of these things. I've been working on my ADHDism, right? Right. Um, Staying focused and things of that nature. So, the conversation that we're talking about JayZ. And if you don't know, JayZ is like the head of the entertainment division or whatever for the NFL. And like motherfuckers got to realize JayZ's been a snake. JayZ's always been out for number one, right? JayZ's always looked out for self. I've never been a big JayZ fan. I've probably been a anti JayZ. I think the only album I actually really will say that I liked as a whole from JayZ was probably the Black Album. Um, the others may have had songs here and there. JayZ wasn't getting bumped in the rise down here. Anything that comes out of New York is always overhyped. Remember that dude? What was his name? Designer. They swore that Designer was going to be the next biggest thing. The next biggest thing was he was gonna be the next Future because he had one stupid fucking song. And they swore that he was the New York's version of Future, right? And where is he now? Rapping in the car, doing stupid little verses off his phone. Um. So anyway, JayZ, head of the entertainment for like the halftime show of the NFL, and I may be a little mistaken. I don't recall the whole story, but basically the way he got there, I remember a couple of years back when it was Kaepernick was trying to get back in the NFL. I think they had a little thing going with the like Robert Kraft. I want to say Meek Mill was part of it. It was a bunch of little shit going on. Basically, JayZ sold them all out to be a part of it. Like they were going against the NFL for some shit that was going on with Kaepernick. Basically, flipped the script and said, Jay, shut the fuck up about the Kaepernick shit, and we will give you a position. Jay was like, hell yeah, I don't give a fuck about that nigga. I give a fuck about JayZ, right? And so he basically played him, and he took this role. So the last few years, he's been the guy in charge, right? And you've had some decent Super Bowl shows since then. I can't remember all of them. I believe Rihanna was one. I don't. I mean, I hardly even watch the Super Bowl, right? But I think this is bigger than the Super Bowl. I don't really think this has anything to do with the Super Bowl. But if you don't know, JayZ this year has selected Kendrick Lamar, right? Just selected Kendrick Lamar to be the face of the halftime show. And there's gonna be people say, "Well, Kendrick Lamar is he's a good artist. He's an all right artist." If you like that shit, like I'm gonna be honest, I was absolutely in no way, form, or fashion rooting for the Jewish Canadian guy. So don't think that's where I'm going with it. But the one thing that he did say that was correct is that this nigga makes a bunch of modern day slave anthems, and like it's like he does. Like, I don't be want to hear it. Like, you want to be entertained. So I can already tell you, there's definitely going to be some They Not Like Us, and that shit's going to be so fucking played out by then. Like, they not. That's one of those songs that's kind of like it's a flash. That I don't think that song's going to have longevity. It's cool now because everybody hates Drake or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, cool, whatever. But to me, it's not like one of them songs. I'm already old. I'll be super old in a couple of days. But anyway, to me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like I said, I don't connect with this newer generation. So maybe this will be the one thing that everybody agrees on, because there's so many options nowadays that I don't think that society has that level of connectivity that people used to have through entertainment, right? It only used to be a couple of things that you would listen to. It would only be a couple of things, available. You had mainstream TV. You had your major artists if you weren't bootlegging them off LimeWire or Napster or some shit like that. But so that might be a cultural thing in the future. But usually, when you get a halftime show, you tend to get more legendary artists. I don't think Kendrick is a legend. I think he's, again, like I said, a decent artist. Put out a couple albums every 5 years or so. I think a lot of shit is hype, and I get it. A lot of people think the shit is super deep, and it's really not. I know people talking about the Pulitzer Prize and all that other shit, but again, that's meaningless when it comes to entertainment. Anybody who says that, let me make the rest of my point first before I dive into that. So, what's been going on for the past year or so? I'll bring up a little stuff to some little visuals. I know you guys like. Excuse me. I know you guys like visuals. If you you're looking at all my gray hairs, looking like Methuselah up here. So, Lil Wayne. I think many of you are familiar with Lil Wayne, the name Lil Wayne, or who that may be.
From Sean Carter
right?
to JayZ Damn You on Jazz Eggplant.
From Sean Carter to JayZ Damn You on Jazz. Shout out. Exactly. We don't want to get on the ether. Shout out to us all in loose. Appreciate the love. I'm gonna pull the damn plug on my shit. Oh, it's these headphones. I don't even know why I got headphones on. I'm not listening to nothing right now. I appreciate the den donation. Thank you, sir. Hope all is well. Put this over here so I can see. I didn't listen to Mr. Morale like at all. Like, I didn't even know it dropped. Like, that's how it was. Last thing I probably listened to from Kendrick, I don't know which came first, the Pimp a Butterfly or Damn. Whichever the last one of those was, I think is what I listened to. So K Dot's not like K Dot. No, oh, stop, Kellum. Look, stop. See, I told myself I wasn't going to get distracted. There is not an artist who is mainstream at this point in time. We can bring Wayne into the fold as well. Lupe may be up there. Like, y'all talk about triple entendre. Lupe is shitting on Kendrick when it comes to go listen to the song. It's off of Tetsuo and Youth. And it's called, I want to say it's called Mural. Yeah, Mural. And it's a beat a couple of people have used. I don't know, JayZ used the beat, Currency used the beat, a couple of people. Listen to that song, it's about 9 minutes long. Right? I've listened to this song over 100 times. Like, I used to keep the bitch on repeat. This was a while back. When you talk about unlimited entendre, if you talk about J. Cole, like, not even J. Cole is fucking with Lupe when it comes to the entendre. Like, it's not happening. Rich Spirit. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, Murals. That song. I listen to it now and still catch shit that I didn't catch him saying like at that time. Like Lupe, what is that? Reasonably would have Drogas like he had a couple things dropped that I wasn't familiar with. Kendrick's not fucking with Lupe, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying no. I think it's because Lupe doesn't get because Lupe is it's a similar thing, but it's see Lupe. Here's the thing about Lupe, and I'm going off track, and I know I said I would. Lupe doesn't jam, right? And so when you're talking mainstream, that's the difference between maybe the artistic value versus the listening value, I guess you could say, for lack of a better terminology. Um, it don't jam that thing that catches you when you first hear a beat, right? That's why, like, what is it? They Not Like Us. If that would have been on a different beat, something different, it might not have hit as hard, but it had a catchy little tune to it. You kind of bob your head to it, right? Um, so Duckworth, oh no, Duckworth over Mill, no way. Um, but the thing about it is, Kendrick has a lane, right? And it's cool. It's a niche lane. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. He's just not a guy like I'm not going to check for Kendrick's music. Some of the shit he like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's like a. I'd have to be lit smoking by myself in a real thought provoking zone. Like I'm trying to maybe some type of creative zone trying to get to. It's not something that I want to listen to on the regular, right? But when we're talking about the upcoming halftime show, I said I was going to bring that picture up. Weezy, Weezy F baby, please say the baby. Now knowing that I'm from the South, and I think that's going to be, and I'm going to be in time one nothing but gave nothing but respect to JayZ. He's always said JayZ's one of his greatest. He was like, what was he said? It was like JayZ, UGK, Missy. I think he said Missy was his number one, and much respect for him for that because I do think Missy is one of the most underrated, undervalued artists in the history of rap music. She was much more talented than she got credit for, and I think Missy's music was generational. Like if Missy shit was to drop now, they would still be hits, except for maybe Beat Me 911 because nobody has beepers anymore. But other than that, right? Is it this one? Hold on one second. I'm trying to figure out. I got all these. I have a couple little small photos and things. I think it's this one. For a couple of years now, a year or two now, Wayne has kind of been hinting that he would like to do the Super Bowl halftime show. And people say, well, it's not about regional. It's not about. I want to say what was it last year? I forgot who was the who did it last time. Was it out last year? And I know it's in California like the next 2 years, which to me would have been more ideal. Like I think it would make more sense maybe to get a regional artist, even though people are coming from all over the world. Um, to do it in New Orleans, to what Lil Wayne means to Louisiana, and the whole representation. No, it's not like the Saints are going to be in the Super Bowl. Of course, it's going to be the Texans in the Super Bowl, probably facing. I don't know if some people saying Detroit. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But the Texans will be there. But he's been saying this for years. This is not off JayZ's radar. It would be different if this was Wayne was like a flash in the pan. But if you've gotten, let me see, what was that? When was I? When was I on my vacation? I think I was on my vacation when you had fucking J Lo and Shakira, right? J Lo's a legend in nobody's eyes, and J Lo is not a legend, a musical legend. Not when you say an acting legend. You could say she's been relevant in entertainment for quite some time, but you've given her a Super Bowl, right? And this was my little favorite cup. It got all fucked up in the when I was washing. I think the bleach did it. But she's got to run. My thing about JayZ is this: it's not this, and this is really no knock against Kendrick. He's having a hot year, and everything's cool, and I love everything that he's done to demolish Drake because I can't stand Drake. So this is really not about Kendrick at all. right? This has nothing to do. It's Wayne and Jay because I feel like this is personal. I feel like this one, like I said, JC can rap, but if it wasn't, if Biggie doesn't go MIA, is JC relevant? Um, I put up a question earlier, and I'll drop it in here. I put it on my Instagram. Can you name a song? And I'm sure you could probably dig deep in some of the earlier albums or something like that when the features weren't so prevalent. Can you name a song where JayZ either had a feature or was a feature on where JayZ had the best verse on that song? We sure as shit know it wasn't Renegade, right? We sure as shit know it wasn't Big Pimpin'. He had to come back and make a second verse for Big Pimpin', right? Some country ass niggas from the South got on the track with him and outclassed him, right? Niggas that did, well, one of the niggas that didn't even want to do the fucking song came out there, outclassed him, and so he had to make a second verse. If the original Big Pimpin', it was Jay, Big, and Pimp, and then he made a second verse because again, I want to say Pimp's verse to me really made him have to step up, and it really wasn't even all that, right? But wasn't Pimp's best verse. Say that. I believe there has been a beef with Wayne for a long time, right? Ever since Best Rapper Alive since the Best Rapper retired. Even what was that song, Meet the Carters? And honestly, if you really want my personal opinion, I don't think JayZ would be as relevant as he is if he didn't marry Beyonce. Right? Yeah, this was the Mario Cup. I'm very sad about it. I have a Wario cup still, and I got a Rugrats cup or like a Nicktoons cup or something like that. Very sad about it. I'm trying to find another one though. I found it in Ross. I think they had a couple of them. I just ain't been back to go see. So yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, and here's my thing too. And I like Lupe, but Lupe is a hater. Like I, I won't say Lupe ain't got some hating in him because I lost a little bit of respect for Lupe when he was on his little vaccine kick. That's a whole nother different conversation. But two things I'll give Lupe, and I know some people may or may not know. Lupe or Lupe, I believe is a black belt. And also, Lupe is really fucking good at Street Fighter. I don't know if people knew that. Like he beat like one of the champion, one of the people go play these tournaments, like one of the ranked fighters in the world. But yeah. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing this evening? So, but getting back to it, like I said, it's really not about any of them. I believe it's a personal thing between Jay and Wayne. And we can talk about this, right? Because I have always been of the belief that Lil Wayne has had a much bigger influence on hip hop than JayZ, on rap than JayZ, whatever you want to call it. JayZ was a product of those who came before him, and he kind of carried that mantle. Wayne, especially being from New Orleans, especially being from the South, especially being from a region where we're all boom boom bap, they can't rap, they don't. There's no lyricism because the Carter One was not appreciated until years after it should have been. You got to think about it. Back in New York, what they say, you go to the radio station and hand a tape, and if people liked it, guess what? Now you're big in the city. Down south, you had to play the Chitlin circuit, right? You had to bump in the clubs. You had to make a name for yourself. So I think I feel like there's that because I feel like JayZ, and even now, look at JayZ, he's growing dreads. Yeah. And I'm not even saying that the resulting product of the Sons of Wayne is a great thing, but you can see where everybody's influence came. I respected Wayne for what he did with mixtapes, right? Because the nigga was dropping mixtape damn near. I mean, just it seemed like every fucking couple of weeks there was some new Wayne shit dropping. And the shit, it went hard. The whole dedication run was at Gangsta Grills, Lil Weezy, the Drought series, What was it? No Ceilings. And he had series of these, multiple mixtapes. I mean, there's plenty of them. The whole squad shit. And I remember going to Sharpstown Mall. Um, some of y'all may or may not be familiar. Sharpstown ain't really there no more. Um, and a nigga coming, that's when they bootlegging CDs. We was going into the mall, and it was me and a couple of my partners. And she was like, man, yeah, I got the CDs, blah, 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 3 for $10. And I forgot what all it was. I want to say it might have been, it was a squad CD, or it might have been 500 Degrees, one of those. And I wasn't even knowing Wayne was on the new that little kick with that he was on. Like, it was always Wayne. Like, you knew Wayne from The Block is Hot. The block is hot. The block's like, goddamn. Well, the lights out, shit like that. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then when I started listening, I'm like, this is Lil Wayne. This is the new and improved Lil Wayne. I like it. I'm fucking with it, right? So I believe there's always been a little something there, right? Because to me, Jay is, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying he hasn't had an influence on the East Coast, right? I'm not saying it was niggas down here who didn't listen to him. It was niggas who was getting money. They was listening to JayZ, but it wasn't a primary play. Like, you weren't riding in your slab bumping no fucking JayZ, right? Down, you absolutely were not, right? It wasn't, you wasn't jamming no screw JayZ. It wasn't no shit like that going down, right? Um, it was cool, right? And as a matter of fact, I ain't gonna get into that, but I'll always hate the Blueprint 3. We'll get into that conversation, maybe in the Discord or something. Y'all remind me about that. But it was just like Wayne he grabbed it, he took a hold of it, and he ran with it, right? Like, it was like he couldn't miss. It was every feature he was doing. It was just, he was hands down, far and away above everybody that he was fucking with, kind of during that run. It wasn't too many people that you would have put in the same realm as Jay, right? Right. Like I say, like I said, to me, like I said, it was I like the Black Album. The Black Album was cool. That Blueprint 2 had one or two songs I used to play uh before games, before my senior year. I want to say it might have been a couple. It was something I think he had with MOP on the Blueprint 2 that I used to like. It wasn't Annie Up. Annie Up was something different. That was with Busta, I think. But yeah, I was always a bigger Nas fan than JayZ. You know what I mean? Like, even in their beef, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Jay took some shots, but Ether was the Ether. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just I mean, it was what it was. Like, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Jay has had a number one song. I might be wrong, other than maybe something he may have done with JayZ, but I don't believe Jay has even had. All right, one, glad that you could join. And things will be back. We're gonna get back on track, because I think excuse me, I won't say I think I found my mojo. I got my mojo back. Right, got my mojo back, and it, it's a good thing. Right, it's a good thing, because for a while, last little while, I hadn't been myself. I haven't been up to honcho par, but things are going to be back rolling as we should, right? As we should. I feel good about it. I'm enjoying things again. So yeah, definitely. Um, man, and then one, Cash Money had a nice little run. I ain't gonna lie, like, Cash Money had a nice little thing going on. But even with all of that going on, 'cause I think there might have been one time Wayne kind of said he maybe a little diss or something, but then he always backtracked. He always talked about how he had so much respect for JayZ. So ultimately, what I think it comes down to is A couple of things. Either he doesn't believe that an artist from the South is going to carry it, but this is Lil Wayne, so Lil Wayne is just not an artist from the South, right? This is not just any old body. Lil Wayne has a catalog, right? And also, a lot of these times, these artists, the features and everything that they bring out. Um, Now, I wouldn't be looking forward to any Drake coming out, anything like that. But for the ladies, you bring out, Nicki Minaj or whatever. You got a plethora of artists that you've done work with. So it wouldn't be disappointing, right? The only argument that I think that you could argue when it comes to this conversation is performance, right? Kendrick's a deep thinker. He puts on a relatively entertaining performance. But it's an entertaining performance for niggas who are, I won't say for niggas. It's not a mainstream performance in my opinion, right? Like I'm watching the Super Bowl. I give politics. Like I don't want to see. I don't give a fuck about niggas kneeling. I don't give a fuck about all this. Like I'm not trying to hear the woe is me shit, right? Or the woe is us shit, right? And I feel like They Not Like Us has lost its relevance because now you got like small little white children dancing around doing it and saying all kind of crazy shit. So is it like who are they not like? They're just like us at this point. Um. Oh yeah, like I was saying, a lot of shit that he stole. I mean, he stole a lot of. Again, there's he stole from other. That's what a lot of Jay shit is. I wish I'd pulled that video up, but it wasn't about just slandering him. It's just kind of more about this argument. Um, that's what I say. Like it's cool, right? Again, no major disrespect, Jay. You just don't get no play in my ride, right? Um, but that's what it is, right? That's the thing, right? Right now, it's all America's a terrible place. It's all whatever. But he does put on a good visual performance. But again, if you're saying right now, what is this? September. Super Bowl in February, it gives you what September, October, November, December, January, February, about 6 months, right? I was thinking 6 months when I had to count on my fingers just to make sure. You've about 6 months that Wayne's not going to be able to put on a visual performance as well. If Rihanna could do it fucking pregnant, then it could be done. I truly, genuinely, honestly feel that this is some personal beef. Jay is a hater, in my opinion. Like, there's certain people, usually you hear the phrase that you won't hear anybody who's doing better than you hating on you. That's true in 99.8% of the cases, right? That's true in 90. But there's always a guy, generally ego driven, or having some type of insecurity or whatever you want to call it, um, who would because somebody's getting shine in a way that they didn't. You see this sometimes with older people and the younger people. Well, back in my day, we had to do this, and young niggas find a way to hit some money, get some money, and not have to go through the struggle, to go through the bullshit. Well, they're not working. Who gives a fuck, right? If you're getting the same result, because it was a couple of things I posted in the Discord, and one was Jay was Tony Yayo, and he was talking about how Jay tried to block 50 Cent on some shit. And I knew there, was some negativity in the past, but Tony Yayo talking about shit. I remember we was beefing with Fat Joe. I was still bumping Fat Joe. I remember we was beefing with the Diplomats. I was still bumping the Diplomats, and things like that. Cameron and Mace, and I'm not a super big fan of their show, but they got some funny shit on there. They talked about it, right? Wayne is for an audience, and this is another point that I would look at it like the Super Bowl. Kendrick to me is for the younger end of the 30 plus-ish and below spectrum. I think Wayne is bringing you those people that are hip hop heads from their mid to late 40s all the way down to people who are still in their 20s in that region. I think Wayne is bringing you the people who actually spend more money, the people who are more established. Like I think that if you're looking to entertain people who spend money, who are more economically stable at this point. Even though we're talking about rap music, I think he appeals more to that generation. And it's not just a black thing. Everybody loves Lil Wayne, right? Everybody loves Lil Wayne for a song that I fucking hated from Lil Wayne. I was not a fan of the Carter 3. Carter 1 was his best album to me. I like Father, Like Son better than I like Carter 3, right? I fucking hated the Lollipop song. I felt like it was popular. I hated Mrs. Officer. Um, but it's the thing is the Super Bowl has never been about anybody in their prime. Rihanna just performed. Is Rihanna in her prime? That's the thing. The Super Bowl is for artists who've kind of been there, done it. Not saying they're over the hill, but they're established. When is the last time you've seen like a prime artist, headline the Super Bowl? So let me pull that up, right? The last few Super Bowl performers. Change my settings, right? I do. 1967 to last year, we're not going to go that far. It was Usher last year. Usher. Now let's count down. Let's go from 2000 to now, right? 2000 to now. 2000, Tapestry of Nations, Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, and Tony Braxton. Only person who might have been somewhat in their prime, they might have been Kings of Rock and Pop, Aerosmith, NSYNC, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly. 2002, U2. 2003, Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting. 2004, when the Super Bowl was in the city and Janet Jackson exposed the titty. Let me tell you about that. I've told y'all that story. I know I've told y'all that story, but it's always funny if you hadn't heard it. Super Bowl was in the city. I was in college at that time. And let's just say I paid the drink man a visit. And so we was, no name shall be named. Me and some associates at that time. Orally, we was drunk. We was actually gonna go out, do whatever. Bro, I remember we was all sipping. I remember falling. Everybody dozed off. Everybody dozed off. Right? Nobody spilt their cup though. It's a no-no. Everybody dozed off from the game. I woke up just in time to see the halftime performance, to see the exposed titty. Thought I was tripping off the drink, hit my double cup a couple more times, pulled up, dozed back off. Woke up later, not even thinking about it, like I was just tripping. I must have been dreaming, only to find out like it had become a big, huge scandal, right? So that will always have a place in my heart. 2005, Paul McCartney. 2006, Rolling Stones. 2007, Prince. 2008, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. 2009, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. 2010, The Who. 2011, the Black Eyed Peas. Usher done it twice. That's crazy. Black Eyed Peas, Usher, and Slash. 2012, Madonna, Guess CeeLo Green, LMFAO. They probably were hot at that time, but let's not act like they really, had a prime. They had like 2 songs, right? MIA, Nicki Minaj. 2013, Beyonce with Destiny's Child. Beyonce, you could probably say in her prime, right? I wouldn't say she's in her prime. I think she's on the downward end. She's out here making country music. People are saying she's getting snubbed from country music. Well, the bitch is not a fucking country music artist. I don't even think she can spell country music. Let me not call her a bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to. Anyway, it's not that I don't even like Beyonce. I don't like Beyonce fans. It's kind of like the Cowboys. Like, it's not that I don't really like Cowboys, but you just don't like Cowboys fans, right? Bruno Mars with Guess Red Hot Chili Peppers. You could say Bruno was in his prime. 2015, Katy Perry. I don't know when her prime was or was not, but I do remember her bringing out Missy Elliott. That was iconic. I remember the dancing shark things. And Lenny Kravitz. Let's see. Coldplay with guests Beyonce and Bruno Mars in 2016. There's probably a point, probably after that Katy Perry one. I don't think I probably watched any of the following ones. Lady Gaga, somehow, 2018, Justin Timberlake came back again. I did not know this. All right, 2019, Maroon 5 with guests Travis Scott and Big Boy. I do remember Travis Scott performing at the thing. 2020, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. 2021, The Weeknd. You can say Weeknd, maybe. Prime. He's still dropping a lot of hits around that time. I didn't even know he performed at the Super Bowl, honestly. Yeah, we'll get to that. 2022, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige. So you've already had him on a performance just a couple of years ago. 2023, Rihanna. 2024, Usher, right? So again, again. And I want to say that was 2022. That was when they had it in Cali. So you had if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. So you had a California themed Super Bowl, right? So people saying, "Oh, it's not about the region." Hey, I mean, it should be a different. It shouldn't be the performance should not be based on the prior performance. So where they are in their prime, where they're not, it's neither here nor there. But to me, it seems like most of the performers have not been in their prime. It's going on the tail end of the career. You've accumulated a catalog, and you're going to entertain people. People know who you are. People are fucking with you. I don't think Kendrick until now, until They Not Like Us, and because it was the Drake beef, so the Drake aspect of it catapulted it. What real mainstream hit did Kendrick Lamar have besides Money Trees, right? Or Drank, Pull Up, Drank, yeah, that one. Swimming pools, right? And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not all the way into the hippie hop like I used to be. I have a select few artists that I fuck with, and that's kind of where I stick with. So, let me pull the chat back up. So again, right? Madonna, Madonna's prime was like in the 90s, right? Madonna's prime was like in the 90s. Sit Down, Be Humble. That was a mainstream hit. He dropped a single for that one. Hmm. Say this, I'll agree with you on Bruno. Ashley, how you doing? Welcome to the den. Good to see you. Infinity, what's the motherfucking deal? Reform pimping. In the den we change former pimps to members of society. Good to see you all. Hope everybody is doing well. But again, it's neither here nor there. I still believe you had an opportunity to do something iconic for the cult, and I don't think there's no negative repercussion that would have happened to Jay if you'd have said, "Hey, we're in New Orleans. New Orleans is a different type of town. It's a different type of city. It's a different type of energy. Louisiana people love Louisiana shit, right?" So again, why not? Why not? Because think about it. When you think hip hop, when you think about rap, especially a lot of this regional shit, you mention certain cities, you think about certain artists. I'm going to go out and say this, right? And this is what I want to say this because I'm in the city, right? In Houston, we in Texas. I don't personally believe, as much as I not like, and love Houston music, I wouldn't see a Houston artist headlining a Super Bowl halftime show. I don't I don't feel like I know you say Travis Scott. Travis Scott is we can get into that whole debacle if you want to. Um it's even in. But I don't feel like there's a Houston artist to me that would say, yeah, that's a great pick to headline a performance. I think Wayne brings you all of that. He brings that internationally known, right? He's a variety of songs. He's got songs for everybody. He's got the mainstream stuff. I don't think he's going to give you all the druggy music, right? I don't think he's going to give you all the drink shit. I would like to believe that if there are any other issues, that he would be willing, knowing that this is a stamp an icon on his career. Like, I don't think that he would fuck that up. But I'm not saying that Kendrick is either. I just felt like if you want to talk about, people love to say the culture, JayZ had an opportunity to do something iconic. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple of things. We're going to open up the line. And what's super funny? What's super funny, right? Because you see Birdman say something. You've seen, I don't know if Drake said nothing. I really don't give a fuck. But Nicki Minaj has been crashing out. But one, we've already known Nicki Minaj liked Wayne way more than she's never gave a fuck about Drake because they know who Drake really is. Like, they know what Drake really is. He's an actor. But Drake has to feel some type of way, right? Because when he's over here getting his ass beat lyrically by Kendrick, he basically, you know, should be throwing in the towel. You don't really hear anything from these artists. But Wayne gets snubbed from the bowl, and you hear a lot of these Young Money artists having an opinion, right? So it is what it is. Let me pull up a couple of things for y'all that I want to just show y'all, and then we're gonna bust over the line. We'll take a couple of calls, get some thoughts on it. So this was the response from Lil Wayne's manager, right? And this was a post that was put up. Says, because I'm pretty sure they've reached out, and that's the cold blooded part. But like, to me, I don't even think JayZ's a good. JayZ doesn't know how to pick talent, right? Like, that's a thing. Like, you know how there's athletes who are great athletes. I mean, amazing athletes, but they can't coach. Like, Michael Jordan would be a shit coach, right? Like, he'd be a shitty ass coach. I think I don't want to say Tom Brady would be a shitty ass coach. Because he's not like a super athlete. He actually has the mental for the game. I'm not saying that Jordan doesn't have a mind for the game, but his athleticism, when there's certain things you just can't teach, and if a motherfucker ain't got certain things, you just don't understand why can't you fucking do this, right? JayZ. Let's think about the artist that JayZ has brought up out of the muck versus the artist that Wayne has brought up out of the muck. Shit, you can even say Birdman, if you will. You had Memphis Bleak. Where's Memphis Bleak now? Is anybody jamming Memphis Bleak? What's the last Memphis Bleak song that you listened to? Right? And we can talk about Rockefeller, we can talk Dame Dash, and we can throw it all together. And I'm gonna talk to you. I'm glad you mentioned I'm glad you mentioned that, Infinity, because I wanted to talk about Megan. Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal? Good to see you. I'm glad you mentioned Megan because this is what it is. One, JayZ does have a lot of ties and connections. Let's be honest, Megan is not talented in any way, form, or fashion, more so than any other artist, right? I'd rather listen to Glorilla than fucking Megan Thee Stallion, right? You got basically a broad who probably should have ended up being an OnlyFans model. And people thought, well, she's got a degree from TSU. But the same bitch who told you she couldn't read in college. So what does that say about a TSU degree? What does that say about her? Right. Memphis Bleak. Only song I've ever liked from Memphis Bleak had nothing to do with Memphis Bleak. He had to get two Southern niggas on that hoe, and that hoe went super hard. When I say this bitch, whew, bringing back college memories. Bringing back college memories. Some of you youngsters, y'all ain't gonna know shit about this. But it's a song called Round Here with T.I., Memphis Bleak, and Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy demolished that hoe. T.I. wrecked that hoe too. That's when T.I. was T.I. before this other weird shit. Memphis Bleak was just on his own song. Like, it was just like, here, this is my song. But when I say that hoe, you used to hear me when I'm coming, dog. Like, come on, bro. Like, yeah. Anyway. That bitch used to be. Nah, let me write that down. I'm going to listen to that bitch tonight. That's the only song. He had a couple little features on some JayZ shit. What other talent would you say JayZ had? Maybe the most talent of all of them was Beans. You know what I'm saying? And Beans is hit or miss. Like, you either fuck with him or you don't. You fuck with Beans because he's gutter, right? But it ain't too many Beanie songs that you just like you going nuts for. It's one he had. I can't think of right now. It'll come to me. Freeway. Y'all remember the nigga Freeway? It's Freeway. I'm coming up. This nigga like yelling, whining ass, weird ass nigga. Like JayZ doesn't have an ear for talent, right? He saw that he could use Megan, in this current industry and probably, make it work. But again, the way that whole thing transpired was some janky ass shit. But again, he's putting her in positions that in reality she doesn't belong to be in because she's not qualified, she's not educated enough, or doesn't really have a relevant position in, right? Pushing fitness clothes, but you're using Ozempic. Like, it's a scam. Anyway, but Jay has never really had an ear for talent, right? Or even on the main, even if you liked him personally, you haven't heard this talent in a major way, on a major platform, or on have mainstream success. Who was it? Chris and Neef, the Young Gunners. Yeah, that was that. I want to say when the Diplomats, they were signing Rockefeller for a little bit. That wasn't them. That was on their own strength. Like the Diplomats, that was their own little fucking thing. But you can't really name a Rockefeller artist that really stood on his own 10 that was just relevant. Like it was just a couple of guys who got to do some songs with JayZ. Right? Like, so Wayne on the other hand, that whole Young Money thing, right? I want to say, what Tiger signed to Young Money, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not saying Tiger was anything, probably maybe the worst out of the bunch. Currency at one point in time was signed to Young Money. Wozoff does his own independent thing, has this huge independent following. Nicki Minaj goes to be considered to be one of the best female rap artists of our time. Drake, whether you like him or not, because I don't, goes on to be one of the biggest artists of our time, right? Regardless of how it's getting done, it's getting done. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Kanye. Okay, I'll give you Kanye. But did Jay really make Kanye? Or did Kanye make Jay? Or hear me out. We'll keep Jay relevant, right? I'll give you that. I'll give you Kanye. But Kanye's beats are what made Kanye. Kanye's beats are what set him up. Like, you don't even really think of JayZ, honestly, when I think of Kanye. Like, I don't even think about, like, I forget. Like I said, just like that, I forget. But, touche. Absolutely. Kanye, right? He absolutely made him relevant again. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't for Beyonce, if it wasn't for Kanye, if it wasn't for the Yays in his life, if it wasn't for Ye and Ye, where's Jay? Right? If it wasn't for Ye and Ye, where's Jay? Because think about it, like Kanye made him relevant again. That whole and that might have been and again, even what was it? That was change clothes. I want to say, was that a Pharrell beat? But that whole little style switch, that little change, the little button down. I hated that whole style. The button down with the jeans and all that extra shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Jay had his name. So I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, you've never heard of JayZ. But the continuation of this career has been from putting strategic people around him. So there's that. But Kanye, given an opportunity on any whatever, would have been Kanye regardless because of Kanye's ego, of Kanye's drive. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would definitely say Dre has a better umbrella because Dre brings you Eminem. Eminem brings you 50 Cent. If you're rocking with the G Unit thing, who knows where the fuck Lloyd Banks is right now. You got the Game out of that. Some people like the Game. I'm not a Game fan. It's neither here nor there. But you have that tree, right? You have that tree. And then again, I'm not sure was it Jay or was that really under Dame? And let me not take away from that. We'll just associate those people with who they're associated with, right? But under that umbrella, like you could say, if we're talking about especially the owners of these labels, it's not even if it's not a Wayne versus Jay thing, is is Baby in a better conversation? Because then you have, because Wayne is really under the Baby umbrella, right? And let's not get it twisted. Love Kanye. Kanye's probably one of the greatest producers in rap history. But I think my personal favorite, most underrated, most unique, Manny Fresh. We're talking about lesbian aunties. If we're talking about lesbian aunties, we got to talk about Manny Fresh, right? Manny Fresh, you got niggas who can duplicate anybody else's sound. You got motherfuckers who can duplicate anybody else's beats, especially these modern day whatevers. You ain't got a nigga who's duplicating a Manny Fresh, right? Because it was just something different about Manny Fresh. Like, Manny Fresh's beats had personality, right? Like, it's like without the fucking words, without lyrics, Manny Fresh, Manny was the greatest, right? Manny was J. Cole signed to Rock Nation. Okay, J. Cole. I will give you that. I didn't even, but see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't even know that. But see, J. Cole signed to Rock Nation. J. Cole signed to Rock Nation, but who was he sad that he let down? He was sad that he let Nas down. He didn't give a fuck about letting JayZ down. He was sad he let Nas down. JayZ let him down the wrong fucking path. But let's get into it. This was Wayne's manager. He said confused, disappointed, angry, but most of all, inspired. Excuse me. Think he kind of fucked his little flow up there when he was, because you had like the one word thing going on: confused, disappointed, angry. But most of all, maybe it should have been like a comma, then inspired with a period. But I'm overlooking stuff. Like, it's me being weird. We'll never again be in a position or have the GOAT in a position where we are at the mercy of someone else's decisions. We will make the decisions, right? Like, imagine, do you understand? Do you understand a halftime show, right? A Lil Wayne halftime show, especially with the whole rekindling of the Hot Boys minus Turk. And I don't think anybody cares that Turk is not a member of the Hot Boys. Turk's verses were forgettable. And it's super crazy because when I was young, my nickname used to be Turk. This weird thing. My pops used to call me that after the movie called Turk 187. Whole nother conversation. Anyway, but yeah, Turk's verses were forgettable at best, right? Like nobody was checking for Turk. It was like the Hot Boys and Turk. You know what I mean? Juvie had his own thing. And now you're over here yawning, cop and go, look, I'm old. I've been up all day. But anyway, we'll get into that another conversation. Juvie had his own style. BG at one point in time was probably my favorite. Chopper City in the Ghetto, one of my favorite fucking albums. Cash Money as an Army, better yet a Navy. You had Wayne, right? And let's not think like Juvie was right now. I could cut on a particular song, and the ladies in this room, who are in this chat right now, would start twerking in their own little personal space. If I cut on some Back That Ass Up, all you gotta do is hear the intro. Cash Money taking over for the 99 in the 2000. Y'all probably start twitching a little bit right there, just me saying it. Like, that is a legendary song. So you're telling me that you get Wayne, and you know if Wayne's going to perform, he's going to put on for the city. You bring that out. You going to have the whole stadium's going to go nuts, right? Right there. Then we can talk about Bling Bling, which was a huge song for its own right. Wayne's catalog in itself. You got a couple of things that been, what's the motherfucking deal? Like, I mean, it's going to be entertaining. New Orleans is a lively city. It's musical energy. Like, I think JayZ fucked up. And I think he fucked up in a major way. Right? And it's not even like no matter what, we can sit here and bitch about it. We can complain about it. We can argue about it all day. Kendrick Lamar is going to perform at the halftime show. It is what it is. Right? But if the NFL had any sense, which they don't, They just found a face that they could use to justify, the shutdown the Colin Kaepernick situation. Because remember when Jay was allegedly fighting with Meek Mill to get criminal justice reform and doing all this other shit. As soon as they brought him into that little NFL fold umbrella, all that shit stopped. Jay is the nigga that they use to trick niggas, right? Jay is like Jay is Steven. Jay is Steven. Oh, no. And we're gonna talk about that probably tomorrow. Because I was thinking about it. I almost was gonna talk about it today, but we're probably gonna talk about that tomorrow. Because that is some very wild shit. Some very, very wild shit. There's a conversation to be had. A very interesting conversation to be had about that whole Tyreek Hill thing. But we'll probably get on that tomorrow. We'll probably dive into that tomorrow. Because if I don't do a short video on it, we'll probably dive into that tomorrow. But again, it's going to turn out very interesting. And yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. But Jay missed a legendary opportunity. He went from what's probably going to be a cool halftime show. It's going to be good. But you have Kendrick Lamar fans. If the Kendrick Lamar stands, like real Kendrick Lamar, you'd already swear he's the greatest thing to ever walk. Like he walked on water before Jesus. I'm not knocking. I like his music. I'm not sit and say I dislike. It's just, for me, it's a time and a place, and I just don't get into all of it. He makes too many weird ass voices and shit and he's a really short guy. He's a really little man. And I know that shouldn't have anything to do with me. It's like Lil Wayne. If I'm not mistaken, is Kendrick shorter than Lil Wayne? Because Kendrick's like 5'5". Lil Wayne's not a tall person, right? Like, let me look that up. But Kendrick's like 5'5". He's like smaller than Taylor Swift. I remember seeing them like standing next to each other. She was like towering over him. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Yes, shout out to the short kings, but a little bit of prejudice. But it's just, I think it's it'll be a good halftime show. But I think it could have been iconic. Do you understand? Right? Like, I get it. Jay is who Jay is. You don't think Wayne has bigger connections to the city of New Orleans? Like, could you imagine? Chris? It'll never be, especially right after Rihanna not that long. It'll never be Chris. Look, here's the crazy part about it, because Chris Brown, and shout out to Chris for still maintaining a career, because he came out and said what he said. But it's crazy because Rihanna initiated all that shit, but there's never been any flack for her, right? Another conversation for another time. But if you're from the South, if you are kind of hip, you know what I'm saying, or familiar with New Orleans, period, and they're just their culture and their sound, it's different. So imagine a Mardi Gras themed shit, because I'm not mistaken, it's kind of around the Mardi Gras time. Imagine a Mardi Gras themed Super Bowl, right? And you bringing out second line or bringing out the bands and if y'all know what I'm talking about, like, and just that whole culture that goes with it, right? And putting that type of performance on for the world. You had a shot. You had a chance to do something iconic, right? To do something that's never been done before. Whatever Kendrick Lamar does, Kendrick's not going to give you the greatest performance you've ever seen. It's going to be good. It's going to be unique in its own right. It'll be cool. It'll be super fucking woke. It'll be all that great stuff. It'll make black people feel empowered. We're on the big stage and he's talking about rights and justice. They might even fuck around and bring out Colin Kaepernick. Who fucking knows, right? But no, it just, no, bro. Like, I believe JayZ did this in spite, right? Like, I believe JayZ did this from some personal vendetta. One, because I think we went down a list, and I don't know, did he come out with fucking I don't know if he came out with Beyonce or not, but Jay ain't performed, and I think that's a thing, right? Because this is a guy that you considered or was considered when people would argue, is it Lil Wayne? Is it Jay? Who's the greatest rapper? Who's the best rapper alive? And the fact that this guy's in the conversation with you because the guys that they considered better than you are both dead. Imagine him getting a whole halftime performance and I don't, right? I don't think JayZ could carry you a halftime performance. Like, what is he gonna give you? What is Jay gonna give you without Beyonce? Right? Without Kanye. Because y'all aren't on turn. What can Jay give you without Ye and Ye? He can't. He's not gonna give you, he cannot give you something classy, he cannot give you something legendary. Uh yeah, but JayZ, but JayZ, like I said, JayZ fuck Colin Kaepernick over. Because like they were all know he was part of those discussions. We're gonna get him back to play. We're gonna get him all that. And as soon as the NFL said, "Hey Jay, we'll put you in this position. We'll make you the head of entertainment." But what I was saying, I got a little bit distracted. JayZ is Steven, but people don't realize it. JayZ is Steven, right? Hear me out. JayZ is Steven, and when I say JayZ is Steven, do y'all know who I'm talking about? Somebody drop that in the chat if you know what I'm talking about when I say JayZ is Steven. You should be very familiar. Right? Because, again, it's a situation where I don't think he wants to see somebody shine harder than he does. I don't think JayZ doesn't want to see somebody better off than he is. Right? And I was going to take this conversation to a more personal attack. But I'm not. That's not what this conversation is about, right? We can get into JayZ. We can talk about how she may be closer to P Diddy than you'd like. That's not the conversation we're going to have here, right? Because how old was Foxy when they were making music together? I don't even think she was 20 yet. I don't think she was 18 yet. But anyway, that's a different conversation that we can have. So again, you can see the people around Wayne. Wayne is upset. Birdman posted something, and they've had their beefs, several $100 million beefs and things like that. And we can even talk about another motherfucker who's on trial right now. And I'm not a fan, but a huge artist under that Cash Money umbrella. We're talking about talent, right? And shit like that. Young Thug, right? That comes under that category. We're talking about Rockefeller versus Cash Money and talent and longevity and relevance. Because Young Thug had unbeknownst to me, unfortunately, has like a breed, that mumble rap, he has his little genre of ruffians. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let me run through these couple of things, like I say, and then take a call or two if you guys want to talk about it. So, like I said, Wayne has always shown homage to Jay. I told you he put it up the other day. What he said, it was Missy, JayZ, UGK. I can't remember if he said Outkast or I forgot who his other two were. Right? Like I forgot who his other two were. But let's shrink that. And don't get me wrong, I believe that. Oh, that's what it is. That's why. I do believe that Wayne looks crazy as cat shit. Don't get me wrong, right? But again, Tom Brady of rap shows him nothing but love. But that's when you got hate in your heart. When you're a hater, when you're a known hater, that's what you do. That's what you do. You try your best to keep yourself in that position. And I think if you give Wayne the Super Bowl nod, does that elevate him and his status above Jay? Well, Jay never performed in the Super Bowl, even though he's in control of that. That's something that people could use as leverage. I wouldn't be surprised if he said, I wouldn't be surprised if something he thought about. Like, hey, I'll perform at the Super Bowl, but I ain't got the catalog for it. Right? Again, and like I said at the beginning of the stream, there will be noticeable bias because I am from the South. I've never been a big JayZ fan. It is what it is. But I also believe that JayZ is an opportunist. I believe that JayZ will use motherfuckers when he can because they're hot. Like even when Meek Mill was going through the whole, when he just got out of jail, was going through the whole thing, trying to do prison reform, he latched onto that to catapult himself into the position he's in now. Right? Right? So, and of course it ain't recent because, he's got the dreads and stuff now. Like I think that Jay has an issue not remaining relevant, right? Because the motherfucker like waited till he was like 50 to start growing dreads. Like you've been Captain Clean Cut and you know this your whole life, and then all of a sudden, you know now you're this other guy. This doesn't make sense to me, right? But again, anybody can do whatever they want. So I'm not midlife crisis, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is what it is. I've just never been a big JayZ fan. Sure, man. Uh, there you go. These niggas pussy. YMC and B, I'm gonna make these niggas respect us on Gladys. I can't even do a good Birdman. I couldn't do a good Birdman if I tried. Um, let's see. Let me run through these real quick because I brought them up, so I figured I'd show them. Uh, some thoughts on it. Being a guy from Louisiana, and he's from Baton Rouge, not necessarily New Orleans. And there's differences in culture throughout Louisiana. All the cooking is good across the state, though. So there's that. Um, like y'all cool how they planning for the Super Bowl. Shaking my head. The most cultural city in the USA, New Orleans. It's a smack in the face of every hip hop legend from Louisiana. Master P, Birdman. This shows they never wanted y'all to kick in the door in the first place because they were still trying to lock it. Super Bowl 22 was in Cali, and Cali artists was allowed to do their thing, and it was a great show. But now it's in Louisiana, and ain't no Louisiana legends can't do their thing. I don't respect it. And that's a good point. That's a great point, right? Because that would also be I don't know if I don't think the beef is still there. Hopefully they're all grown and old and over that. But it would be great. Bring out Master P. Like you could do a whole lot for the whole state of Louisiana, right? Like there's other artists that you could bring out. Like you could have he could have done a major thing. And it would have been huge for Louisiana, been huge for the South, right? But again, here we are having this conversation. Uh I agree with Boosie to an extent. Is Louisiana the most cultural city? Probably not. But they do have the most unique culture. Excuse me. I do believe they have the most unique culture in the U.S. Right? Maybe not as diverse, but they on their own little thing. It is what it is. Uh, she said some other shit, but very good point. Right? Say, God forbid if Wayne was to leave this earth right now, the culture would be in mourning. That's why so many people keep saying, give our legends their flowers while they're still around to smell them. Sitting around all day playing games with people's life and legacy. God ain't sleep. G. Roberson, you'll learn that too very soon. Gag City, I don't even know what that shit is. I guess that's whatever the weird shit that they own. But one, I told you I ain't doing a knock on wood shit no more because that's actually found the roots of that is no bueno. But yeah, if something wants to happen, which would be very unfortunate, um, just like what happened with what's his name recently, Rich Homie Quan, and sitting there play like I was a Rich Homie fan, but he wasn't fuck with that weird shit, that Young Thug shit. I had a lot more respect for him for that. And that fucking that fucking BMW in that video, the yellow one, one of my favorite vehicles in any video. I'll explain that later or another time. Other than that, I'm not gonna sit and act like I was just a huge Rich Homie Quan fan. This is what I think was the original thing that she said. That good powder. But denying a young black man, weighs on me. I'm on the brink of 40 here in a couple of weeks, so I'm not gonna call him a young black man. Um, got you punching Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne. No one was good. He stood firm on having 50 Cent come out. A white man. Shit sad. House nigga teens. And that's reason I guess she done switched into the other personality. This was then she got it's the start kicking in on her. But it's good for them. No loyalty. Well, the niggas will keep sunning you. DTLR, Galaxy, all this stuff. Laughing my ass off. What on that? I don't know. Shit you talking about? That terrible Jamaican talk. Um, let me see. Oh, did I cut the mic? All right. But anyway, hold on a second. Do 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 do. Let me see. No, 1 second. You say Nikki better be disappointed. But hold on. 1 second. Um, it was just too much. Jabari, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Um, but it won't be the same. Like even if Kendrick did bring out some New Orleans, it's not gonna be the same vibe. It's not like he could bring out Wayne and it would not be the same. Like it wouldn't resonate right. Like it's one thing to show love to somebody's city, but then it's another thing to be from the city. You know what I'm saying? That city that you represent. Um, but yeah, so Nikki had a few things, but you know what? I fuck with Nikki whether she's out of there or not because she's riding for the motherfucker that put her on. You don't see a lot of these artists remain that loyal, come out and speak and say these things and ride for them. My bad, I forgot if I talk it crazy in the mic, it don't pick up as well. If I talk this way, it doesn't pick up as well. I'm thinking about the old USB mic I was using. So I think I might have a little video to show. I think I showed y'all all the people having opinions on it. Bloop, 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 bloop. People were saying this is the reason why. Um, this is the reason why because Wayne talks about drugs and all like all the other rappers you done brought out. Snoop Diggity Dog, Snoop. Side note. Side note. Aside from all regional bias and everything going on, I think that I'm not wishing it to happen. I'm not wanting it to happen. I'm not encouraging that it happens. I'm not, none of that. I believe that when the day that Snoop Dogg passes will be one of the saddest days in the history of America, I believe that Snoop Dogg will get a holiday if a Democrat is in office, right? Snoop Dogg went from Doggy Style, Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me, to being one of the most likable. The motherfucker was the mascot at the Olympics. The motherfucker done shows with fucking what's her name? The real criminal. I can't even Martha Stewart. I think Snoop Dogg. I think Snoop Dogg piped Martha Stewart. You say what you want to say. You agree, disagree. I think Snoop Dogg hit that. And then she made him a nice dinner afterwards. But yeah, like I believe that Snoop Dogg will be the most will have the biggest. And speaking of people past, shout out James Earl Jones passed. Mufasa, Simba, everything that touches the light is our kingdom. Well, what about that shit over there? No, we don't fuck with that shit, nigga. Stay out of there. R.I.P. to James Earl Jones. We talking about Mufasa. We talking about fucking Darth Vader. Very unfortunate. Sad situation. But lived a long life, you know. It's not as sad when people live a long, productive life. It's sad that you live. But like, let's be honest. Until you heard about the new Lion King coming out, and then now you kind of found out Mufasa was kind of a hoe, because they say in the new Lion King that it was actually Scar's tribe or whatever. He brought Mufasa in, and Mufasa basically took over. So you understand why he was bitter. Hey, I always related to the bad guy for a reason. Anyway, but they turned all these narratives now super crazy. Um, yeah, but like we can give him 420. I don't know. We can't give him 420 because you don't want that to be a sad day. But I guess you could be like everybody put one in there for Snoop. Yeah. So I dig it, right? I dig it. Uh, so there's that. Do. We'll give him 421. Niggas always late anyway. But every day is 420 for Snoop. All right. We'll show y'all a couple little clips, whatever reason I got them. And then we will, so we'll take a call or two. Yeah, like I said, tomorrow we'll probably discuss the Tyreek Hill thing tomorrow. Um, yeah, I'm gonna show y'all a couple things. So one, I'll show you the clip. Hurricane Chris, because Hurricane Chris has been beefing with 50 Cent because 50 Cent is going to like Shreveport and basically kind of made it real live. I think he's done a bunch of shit out there, revitalized it, got a lot of things going on. And Hurricane Chris felt the particular kind of way because he got left out of something. But he had some thoughts on the Lil Wayne scenario and Lil Wayne not being included in the Super Bowl halftime show. So let me do this and take a listen together. I ain't even listen to all of it.
So now you niggas understanding, huh? Same up I was just saying 50 Cent did in Shreveport. Now it's happening in New Orleans on a bigger scale, so people like Master P come in on it, so now everybody understand. I just made this same but I guess, cause I ain't my brother, motherfucker get it. Well, I'm glad it's going down like it's going down. God told me to just sit back and motherfucker was gonna be open. It don't matter whether you small or big. It don't matter whether you large. It don't matter whether you tiny. Homage is old. Respect is old. You supposed to pay respect to the mother lay the foundation before you. I wouldn't give a damn what your organization is. I wouldn't give a damn how much money you spent. I wouldn't give a damn what you did. When you walk into a house, you speak to everybody who live in that house and you pay respect to everybody who live in that house. I'm from the South. Now, wherever you from, you go do what you do wherever you go do it. But when you come to the South, y'all got to show more respect in this, bro. We got our own culture here. Niggas coming down here laughing, playing games, thinking they just gonna use their money and take over everything. It ain't going down like that. We going back to that old. Oh, you niggas stepping on turf, gon' do what you supposed to do, or you gonna pack it up and get on somewhere. All the nice guy shit out the window. Trying to cop deuces. Take back every nice word I said to you niggas. Get your mind right, or we gonna make niggas get their mind right. How about that? So now you niggas understanding, huh? Same up I was just saying 50 Cent did in Shreveport. Now it's happening in New Orleans on a bigger scale.
And I feel it, and I feel it. Like, especially Steven, aka JayZ. But again, like he fakes these roles and niggas celebrate. JayZ he owns the Nets. Nigga own like a piece of a percent of the Nets. But you ask niggas around Brooklyn, they talking about all the motherfuckers he ran out of there for them to build that new stadium. People, black folks who lived in the area. A lot of people had shit to say about that. That's not mainstream. Like I said, I told you he sold out Colin Kaepernick so that he could get in the position he's in now. Right? JayZ will turn on you as soon as he gets the opportunity. Kanye, going through everything he's been going through, all the situations, the craziness, all that. Do you think Jay really try to reach out to him as a friend to see if he needs help, to try to resolve, to try to, get him the help he needs? We'll do a quick poll on that. 0 for no, 1 for yes, right? Do you believe that at any point in time where people believe that Kanye was going crazy? I personally Maybe now with the little teeth thing and some of the new chick he dating, he probably really done lost it. But I think the Kardashians made him crazy. But do you believe that Jay ever really tried to reach out to Kanye to check on his well being? Do you feel like Jay ever really reached out to see if his friend was okay? Right. So I was looking up because I didn't know Master P had said something about it. So I'm gonna read that to y'all real quick. It says, salute to Kendrick Lamar for performing at the halftime show. Well deserved. He's one of the hottest music artists in the world and has some of the biggest songs right now. As an ambassador of entertainment in the city of New Orleans, I have to agree that the fans of Lil Tunechi, aka Lil Wayne, should be part of the celebration as well. He's one of the greatest hip hop it says hop artists alive, still relevant, and he's a New Orleans native. Let's not miss this cultural moment in the South. Life is too short. We have to give our legends their flowers while they're here. Change starts with us. So he tagged, the mayor, JayZ, and the NFL. Right? Wayne's done a lot of drugs, right? Wayne's been through a lot of shit. He's had a couple times, I believe he had some seizure issues and things like that. I'm not wishing negativity, I'm not saying, but people clock out all the time. You don't know when you have opportunities to make history, real history. Kendrick don't do nothing but do push-ups and eat Muslim bean pies. So he's gonna be around for another 100 years. Plus they say, anyway. Let me pull up a couple of other things. Let me drop this one on y'all and then save the camera. So this is what I'm saying about like the woke weird shit. Like this, even the Kendrick's ad for the Super Bowl, once he accepted or once he's to state that he's gonna be like it's not even enticing. It's not making me want to anticipate watching it, right? Like in any form or fashion. I know what we're gonna see here, right? But let's let it rock.
Give me one more. There you go. Give me one more. Ah! Come on. Two more. Just like that. You ready? Exactly. What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be pulling up? I hope so. You know it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round twos. Let's get it. Boom! I won't want you to miss it. Meet me in New Orleans, February 9th, 2025. Wear your best dress too, even if you're watching from home. Let's go. Yay! That's what I'm talking about, man. Now we can get to it for real. Come on, you gotta make sure you catching with the hands open like that. We running real routes, you gonna be messing up.
I was just saying beforehand, before you couldn't even actually muted myself, said the other thing, that I watched this. There's nothing about it that's appealing to me. There's nothing about this video makes me say, I can't wait to see the Super Bowl halftime show. The only reason I'm gonna be watching Super Bowl is because the Texans gonna be in it. Other than that, I'm gonna change the channel. Like I'm gonna go watch the Puppy Bowl or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not anticipating. I'm not excited. I'm not that's like this nigga Kendrick ain't ever played no fucking football in his life. Like this shit here, bro. Just the noises he's making, simulating that somebody. Yeah, who the fuck says that? Right? Like nobody said. Like you on the jug machine. Like no. You got to get your hands open. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, it's corny as fuck. It's corny as shit, bro. Like, again, and this is not a knock on Kendrick the artist. This is not a knock on none of that. It's just this whole thing. Like, look, little Pat don't even look like. Come on, bro. It just Wayne would have been the better choice, right? And here's the funny thing, though, because what people are saying is that Jay has had beef. He's talking about because of Drake and because of other stuff. One, because Drake, and I don't know if Nicki was a part of that too, because they didn't sign the title music, and then Drake ended up getting like an Apple Music deal or something like that. But even on title, I believe the niggas was getting fucked over, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, it's like this. Jay wants to be the nigga that fucks you over. Said, no, I'm not gonna let the white man fuck you over. Let me fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit he's on. This shit right here is just, it's very unappealing to me. It's not, and again, I'm old at this point. I've accepted I'm an old head. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just no appeal to it, right? Like, I'm not looking forward to seeing it. Like, I know what Kendrick's gonna perform and I know his songs. He probably, I guarantee this. I guarantee this. Right? And if it doesn't happen, hear me out. If this is what's gonna happen, either his very first song or his very last song, and I'm leaning towards the very last song that he performs is going to be They Not Like Us. Right? That's going to be the last song of the performance. And it's like, all right, let's just go ahead and get it over. But again, at this point, it's going to be worn out. It's not, I mean, I don't know. It's not going to be full of New Orleans in the stands. It's not going to be a bunch of Saints fans in the stands. So it's not like people are going to be like turning their backs because you didn't get Wayne or anything like that. It is what it is. The lovely Miss Sarah Lou, how are you? Always good to see you. Rat, what's the motherfucking deal? It's like I said, it's like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't. And again, I grew up on Wayne. I don't know Kendrick. Kendrick had, like I said, he got songs I like. He got little jams I like. I don't want to call them jams. He's got songs I like. I don't think Kendrick really has like jams. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different music that you're gonna listen to riding in your car with some hoes versus your partners versus by yourself, right? And we were talking about Lupe earlier and all that. Like, Kendrick is something I'm gonna have to listen to in the car by myself, and I might play it once, maybe twice. That's about that. It's not gonna be on no heavy rotation. But also the same with Jay, in my opinion. Different people feel differently about Jay in here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the lovely Miss Sarah Lou. Thank you. Glad that you could arrive. Let's see. Oh, fuck. We were doing good in this stream till Broderick showed up. Broderick, you missed the whole stream. Nobody, you have no opinion on this. Like, it just. I hope not. I hope there's no damn malfunction. That'll be terrible. But again, like, it. I mean, even when you think about features and like guest appearances, right? Like, what if you're a Kendrick fan? School me, hit me to the game. If you're a Kendrick fan, and I'm gonna tell you something else about Kendrick, and some of y'all are not gonna like, because Kendrick loves. He talks about going after motherfuckers. The one nigga that Kendrick don't really want smoke. The nigga from the South that Kendrick don't want no smoke with is Crit, right? Because I think Crit is on that same level, if not elevate. Because Crit can he can make you think on that same page, but actually make the shit sound good, right? So there's that. But it's just who is a Kendrick feature? What songs besides him and the weird voices that he makes on his own shit? Like, who is he bringing out? Who's coming out? Who's gonna come in? Do they little shit and then jump their ass off the stage? Like, I'm not saying it's not gonna be a good performance. Like I say, he provides good visuals at his shows and things. But it's like that woe is me, Black slavery anthem, modernized type shit. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, I don't. Look, anyway, it is what it is. It's just not my deal. It's like I don't I'm not in anticipation of it. Wayne would have been much better. I think would have got the crowd much more energized. Think about it. Think about it. A lot of women like to watch the Super Bowl, right? A lot of women like to watch. What song does Kendrick got for the hoes? And for the ladies. I hope we don't make no music for the bitches. We don't fuck with the bitches out here. Um, I should time you out for saying that, Broderick. You know what I mean? But again, all of this stuff, like it's a situation where it's not intriguing. Like Wayne would have hands down been the better option, and I truly believe this is again, and it's not. And I'm feeling kind of bad because it's not about insulting Kendrick, right? I'm looking at this from if I were JayZ, I have to put on the most entertaining Super Bowl that I can. The Super Bowl is in New Orleans. You got 2 more years coming up in California that you could easily throw Kendrick in there and, use that leverage, hopefully make some new music by the end, whatever. Versus an opportunity, which is past now, because we can bitch about it, they're not going to change. They're going to say, well, let's do the second consideration. We're going to switch to Lil Wayne. It's not going to happen. Like, I'm over fucking with the camera. That's not going to happen. So the opportunity is missed. The opportunity is over. The opportunity is gone. You know what I mean? But if I was in charge of entertainment, but again, also East Coast, New York niggas, we've been knowing New York niggas don't make entertaining music either, right? Like New York doesn't even have a style anymore. Now they on that drill shit, which they basically took from Chicago, who took the shit from the UK, basically. Even back in the day, them niggas was making this old, I gotta get out a fucking thesaurus and an encyclopedia, you know what I'm saying, to decipher what the fuck they talking about. Say word, son. Word is bond, B. You know what I'm talking about? We in the bodega, son. Word is up, Dunny. Like, niggas be wearing Timberlands and shit. That shit corny. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, right? Creed? I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. I don't even know if that's Creed. I'm just singing songs and shit. But yeah, man, it's at a point where, like I said, as an entertainer, as if we're talking about entertainment, Wayne gives you the best option because Wayne has pop people that he's done music with. He has rappers he's done. So he gives you the diverse array that you can have to bring and unify, the various cultures, the various people into the music, right? That's that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's just like it's a sad situation. I mean, not a sad situation. Who really gives a fuck ultimately? Because like I said in the beginning, rap is the worst thing that's to never happen to niggas. But it's ingrained in. Well, rap is the second worst thing that ever happened. The first worst thing that ever happened to niggas was Broderick. Second worst thing that ever happened to niggas was rap. But yeah, man, it's just like I couldn't remember if that was Creed or Nickelback. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's a whole inside Nickelback joke just came to mind from a long time ago. Right. Oh goodness. Oh, so yeah. I'm telling y'all, I got my mojo back. We look, the den is gonna be back rocking. Like I've been trying to do this and do all that. It ain't been nothing. Like I said, I just lost my mojo for a while. But I have definitely got that shit back. We definitely finna start rocking out, having a good time like we used to. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's so it's kind of hard to explain because it's an old friend of mine, right? And I got to remember I'm taking it. And his mom, I believe, went to a Nickelback concert, right? And this is how it was shared with me. But and it was like you got how does she say it? You got you got metal, You got heavy. Well, let me move this fucking shit. Let me move this Kendrick out the fucking way. He ain't talking about shit no way. He's not like me. He's not like me. Do, 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 do. He's not like me. All right. He's like, you got metal, you got heavy metal, and you got ultimate metal. And Nickelback is ultimate metal. But it's the way it was said that makes it super, super funny. So that's what I'm really recalling. But it was a there's a few separate factors that go into it to really bring it in. But yeah. So yeah, that it's a lot of pieces to it, right? But anyway, um, let me see. I ran my mouth for 2 hours. I haven't done this in a while. Um, and I think I've stayed relatively on topic for the most part. I don't think I deviated too much. Um, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. He's been tapped to be the entertainment ambassador for the Super Bowl, which will take place in New Orleans, and you don't get what I just be talking too much. Says people didn't like Master P playing neutral when talking about Kendrick Lamar leading the Super Bowl halftime show over Lil Wayne. Wack says people in New Orleans would have been okay with Drake leading the Super Bowl over K. Nah, see, Wack I don't know why niggas even listen to that nigga anymore. Like, that nigga say so much whack shit. That's Wack 100. He says 100 whack things a fucking hour. But yeah, let me see. I'm gonna bring that what he was, the other thing I was reading out. I think like Wayne really, and that's the thing, and that's what I truly believe. Because when it comes down to it, like I really believe that it comes down to the quote unquote culture, right? And in your opinion, if you're a fan of rap music, other than like Curtis Blow or some shit, who has had a bigger impact on rap culture than Lil Wayne? You could say Tupac, possibly, right? I have my thoughts on that. Well, it is what it is. People don't generally like my takes on the whole Tupac thing, so we'll leave it at that. But aside from that, that's alive, and I think that's something that bothers Jay. I think that you give the guy one who's had the most significant impact of on rap culture that's still alive, and then you give him a platform. You give him the Super Bowl, right? I think that Wayne has a significantly more diverse catalog than than uh than Jay, right? I don't like I say I don't think Jay has the catalog to put on an entertaining Super Bowl performance. Not without Beyonce, not without Kanye. Um, he doesn't. But again, so this is what I read earlier. So salute to Kendrick. And this is what I say. Wax probably don't. Wack will say people in California. He's the only person that don't like some shit, and he'll say other people don't like it. Like I say, he's a weirdo to me. Like he's a weird motherfucker to me. Like again, it's just strange. Like shit he be in, hang with old, but like he's just a weird dude to me. Um, but yeah, if he's the ambassador of entertainment, right, for the city, and you're Jay and you head of the NFL entertainment shit, why not reach out and say, hey, let's do something big for New Orleans, right? Because Jay don't care. Jay don't give a fuck. And it takes me back to the days where artists in the South didn't get any play on BET. They got no play. They didn't get play on mainstream radio. And we were forced to listen to that East Coast shit. We fuck with the West Coast because West Coast actually had a sound to it, that funk, that type of shit. Like we fuck with that. That definitely had some influence, especially in the city in Houston. Um, but that East Coast shit, we wasn't fucking with that shit like that. There was a couple niggas who might have been, but we wasn't rocking with that shit like that. And I think Jay got some beef with the South. We tried to go get him Southern chick. Why don't you marry a broad from New York? Right? Why don't you get with Alicia Keys or something? But here we are. Um, that's what I'm saying. Like, as I'm saying, like, cause it's. What'd you say? Oh no, I can't do that on screen. That'll be terrible. That'll get the whole channel canceled. Um, no, we'll talk Texans. Oh, we'll talk Texans soon. All right, man, I'm gonna do a video on that today. But they'll be at the Super Bowl. Like I said, they'll be at the Super Bowl playing. They'll be at the Super Bowl playing with Kendrick Lamar. And like I said, I'm gonna turn the halftime show to the Puppy Bowl until it's over. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be honest though. Like with Louisiana, because like you said, you do have those diverse sounds, you do have those diverse cultures. You got Louisiana bounce music. Like, man, there's so much that you could have done. There's so much that you could have done for that Louisiana culture. But again, a nigga from New York, especially an older nigga from New York, he's not gonna be familiar with that. They don't know shit. Like I remember when JayZ came down and he was on that fucking song with Bun and Get Throw with Bun and all and Jeezy. I believe he had the last verse, and every did was terrible because he had the worst verse on that song. I'm trying to told you I'm throw. Like, you sound so fucking lame. Anyway. Like I said, I've just never been a big JayZ fan. Um, the South is not his domain. You know what I'm saying? But East Coast niggas, you know, they love that shit. They're gonna try to say Jay is the greatest. Again, Jay without a nigga from the Midwest, who is Kanye, Jay without a wife from the South with Beyonce, would not have had a sustained, long, relevant career, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, I wouldn't. And this is to say that I'm biased and not being biased. I don't feel that there is a Houston artist um that's again. I don't look at Travis Scott as from Houston, so it is what it is. But I don't feel like there's a Houston artist that could carry a Super Bowl, right? Aside from Beyonce, if we're talking rap, right? Um, but like I said, you got that bounce sound, you got like that whole little Cash Money, Manny Fresh. Think about it. Gator boots with the pimped out Gucci suit. Ain't got no job, but I stay fly. Like all that old man, like you everybody get your roll on. Everybody get your roll on. You could have brought out the big timers. You could have brought out, like say, you Master P. Um, you could have brought out, like say, some bounce type shit. You can't bring out boot. You could bring out. You could bring out Boosie. INDEPE. You know, you could do all that. You got it. Like you JayZ fucking blew it. JayZ fucking blew it. Right? JayZ blew it. And that's that. Like, and I'm saying this as songs that get people fired up, right? Wipe Me Down. Like, these are songs that you can't bring Webby though. You cannot bring Webby. You can't bring Webby. It could have been a monumental occasion for the South. It could have been a monumental occasion for more diverse hip hop fans. If you're a Wayne fan, you don't just normally Wayne fans ain't just from the South, right? But it's just so much shit. Like I do believe that there was personal beef between, like I said, other shit that he wasn't able to, like the title thing. I'm pretty sure that him and Birdman have some type of particular whatever. He blew it, right? Like he blew an opportunity. Not to him again, like I said, it's still gonna go on, show gonna go on. It is what it is. He gonna get paid. But for the fans, for the people who actually want to be entertained, they got robbed of what could have been the great, like, yeah, oh well, let's have Wayne next year because people were saying it's not going to be the same. It's going to be trash. Like, and I'm not saying like Wayne in California is not going to be the same as Wayne in New Orleans. Lil Wayne is New Orleans. Like, it's not going to be the same, right? Um, it's just like it yeah. Whoop whoop, pull over. That car is too fast. That'll be the Tyreek Hill. But yeah, man, it's just it's like missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity for what could have been a game changer, even for the Southern Sound, for people who may not be familiar, for people who may not be introduced to it. Um, because what happens a lot after these Super Bowls, what happens a lot, especially with songs that a lot of these people are not familiar with, right? Oh, always, yeah. Megan ain't got no talent. Like Megan is not talented. Like y'all can't sell me. Y'all can't sell me a Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all can't sell me a Black Stallion. Y'all can't sell me nothing. Um, but what happens is a lot of these artists, a lot of this music, especially when it's the artists who may not still be like recently relevant or may not be in their prime. What happens is people go back and listen to that music. People go back and those people's sales, their streams, those things go up. It puts money in the pockets of those artists. So if the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans, like to me, it makes more sense to make it regional. Like go ahead and introduce this sound to people who may not be familiar. If you can find a national artist from that area, whether it be rap, rock, hip hop, whatever, um, you know, whatever it may be, R&B, it could be a pop, whatever. Why not put money back into the pockets of those people, right? Why not allow those people who may not have had that national blow up or may have been, why not give them that opportunity? Because I know that when Missy performed, like her streams and like shit like went up because it was a lot of young people who were not familiar with Missy, had no idea who she was, and start getting into her music because of that, right? And respectfully so. And I mean, it's just, it's just, oh man, hold on to that. The niggas fighting at bring out. Oh, I'm not even gonna go political right now. I'm gonna save it for later in the week. 'Cause definitely, I got a lot of shit to say. Like I say, the Mojo's back. We're gonna be on the brink of getting the channel canceled every night again. That's the type of shit I'm on. What we looking like? What we looking like? What we looking like? We got about 6 minutes to wrap it up. We're gonna get ready to start winding down. I did say earlier I was gonna take some call, but I got on a streak and just got to talking and got a little vehement about it, and then Roger came in and ruined it for everybody. Um, but I do want to say, man, I appreciate each and every one of you, wonderful people. I thank all of you who have been here since you first discovered the den. Tell a friend about the den. We're gonna start rocking like 9 o'clock because I'm getting old. I got less than 2 weeks. It's terrible. I'm happy and I'm sad, right? I'm happy and I'm sad because it's almost over. It's almost over. Like I don't want to jinx it, you know what I mean? Because I ain't made it there yet. But when I say that I never thought I'd see the 30s. You know, 30s stuff. I almost successfully completed that. I could honestly, truthfully, never imagine being on the break of 40. So that's coming very soon. Um, that might be the day the channel gets canceled. Just go real crazy. Um, and it's on a Friday. So we'll see. But yeah. So like I said, now I've honestly I have like because I'll tell you all about it. I've discovered a new combination. I I have been working diligently to resolve some issues. And change my manner of thinking. I always think you always have to be consistently trying to upgrade the way you think about stuff, upgrade your views. Always, life changes, things change. And so you should always be, you know, reformatting your hard drive, if you will. Don't any of you take that in an improper manner. So, with that being said, I appreciate every one of you. I thank you for being here. We are going to call it an evening. Uh, right. Exactly. That's super funny. Like, we talking about like, because I didn't know who Bad Bunny was until like a couple of years ago. And there was like a thing on the news, and they were talking about, oh, he's coming to Houston. His tickets selling out, and people were going, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, and then you go look. I started looking on the fucking streams and all that. Like, this motherfucker has like on YouTube billions of fucking views. Like every other song got a billion fucking views. The fucking plays billions of plays. Like, I'm like, I've never heard of this motherfucker ever in my fucking life, and that's why I say there's all these cultures, all these things that are going on that we'll never be familiar with. And that's why it's super important to allow some of these people to get exposure. You know what I'm saying? And you have an opportunity. But it is what it is. Like I say, everybody who says they're for the culture ain't for the culture. Some people are just there to prey on the culture. And again, like I say, I think JayZ is, again, he's a Steven. And when I keep saying Steven, I mean Steven from Django. You know, he wants to be the head nigga in charge. There's certain motherfuckers who just want to be, and you got to think about the position he's been in, like, and the way he's been in those positions, right? You know, it's another conversation that we could dive into. But yeah, tomorrow, 9 p.m. More than likely, we'll be talking about the Tyreek Hill situation. The thing there was something else I wanted to discuss. But yeah. So I appreciate it. We're gonna rock with it. We're gonna rock out with our socks out. But again, yeah. So I'm chugging up a deuce. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. I thank y'all for being a part of this community. Thank you for being who you are. Thank y'all for being a part of the chat and not only allowing me to be a part of your lives, but being a part of my life. Because I appreciate, not only am I trying to entertain you, but yeah, y'all keep me very entertained in the chat conversation. The Venezuelan takeover, there's a lot going on with that. 'Cause I've heard they've been in Chicago. I've heard they've been in Colorado. I've heard fake news. I've heard real news. Uh, but I'm prone to believe it because of a lot of things that have gone on in Venezuela, especially with the way that was it Maduro, Maduro is handling things, especially crime, and how easy it is to get into America now. So if you're not going to be able to commit crime in Venezuela, might as well come to America and get paid to do it, right? Um, like I said, there's a lot of content, a lot of stuff to talk about. I plan on dropping some short. I always say this. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna stop saying stuff. I'm just gonna start doing it. So, with that being said, I appreciate, I love, I thank y'all uh, for your time this evening. Again, you could have been anywhere in the world. You've been getting the cameras right here. You could have been anywhere in the world this evening, but the fact that you decided to rock in the den tonight, I thank you for that. You guys take care of yourselves. Maybe I'll hop in the Discord for a few. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I don't know if we're gonna. I've been watching all kind of crazy. Tubi's a terrible thing. I need to do a show on. I need to do a show on fucking Tubi, right? Like that. That's what I really need to talk about. The terrible things of Tubi. But anyway, I thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. Y'all take care of yourselves. And again, as always, it is my honor. It is my privilege. But more than anything, it is truly my pleasure to get to chop it up with you lovely folks every opportunity that we get. With that being said, I'm chugging up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And y'all have a good evening. And take care of yourselves. I expect to see you very soon. But I will be in the Discord. I'm going to jump in the Discord for a few. So if y'all want to chop it up, slide in the Discord. Adios.